So the shutdown has been going since October 1st. And when I first started covering it, I told you about how intelligence community doesn't see too much change at this time in the fact that the aspects of collection, analysis, dissemination continue because these are national security priorities. Where the changes occur are in things like human resources and administrative support, building maintenance, that kind of thing. And that the problem really starts when people aren't getting paychecks, because then that means that they might not know how to pay their bills. And that stress could show up in a lot of different ways, and it could push some people to have to leave. And with no sign of this stopping anytime soon, I just wanted to give you a little check in on where things are. Right now, what I'm told is that there are essentially a few strategies at play at the CIA, and I'm not going to list all of them because I don't know all of them. But what I do know is that some leaders are choosing to furlough people who are already close to retirement, who have expressed that they want to retire, as opposed to younger people, in order to protect those people moving forward. Unfortunately, what's also happened is that a lot of people in HR are furloughed. So some people are literally at the point of retirement and they don't have their papers. Nothing is arranged for them. And by the way, it's not just people who are currently at the agency who won't be getting paid, but also people who have retirement benefits. This stretches in a lot of different directions. I'm also told that CIA Director John Ratcliffe made a deal whereby he would cut contractors in order to keep CIA staff. This was long before the shutdown, and a lot of contractors lost their jobs. But there's something different happening right now. So I'm told the contracting officer's technical representative, aka the COTAR, well, uh, one of them has been furloughed. And so there are people who think that they're going to lose their jobs, but they're still working right now. So a serendipitous moment for them, maybe. At the State Department, what's going on at the State Department? I'm told that there have been all of these different deals that they've had to work out with other countries, because we're talking about embassies and consular offices overseas that all have their own different labor laws. And there are locally employed staff. What do? They could be cultural liaisons. They might be providing administrative support or translation services. We've seen sometimes that they actually are the eyes for their own country or foreign government. But of course, the State Department tries to be very careful and take all of that into account by background checks, etc. In any case, if they continue to work, but they aren't getting a paycheck, that could breach their own labor laws. So they've had to spend resources at the State Department working out some of these deals. I'm told that there are 11 countries where there still aren't deals, but I don't know which countries those are. When it comes to the DoD side of intel, what I'm hearing is that there's just a lot of frustration that people can't get their shit together and just figure this out. Come together, get the government going again. Since it's Monday morning and we're fresh off the weekend, I also just wanted to spend some time talking about what I've seen in the last few days, because these are really unique moments. On Thursday night, I was invited to this social club called the Ned, and it is basically a place that is for A-listers. You see a lot of lawmakers and star journalists and lobbyists and people who are at the top of their industries. It has ornate floors and walls and ceilings, plush furniture. There's a special room for founding members who have paid over $100,000 to be there. It's the kind of place where you need a sticker on your cell phone if you're not a member, because you're not allowed to take pictures inside. So I am not a member. Let me just state that for the record. But I got to go. And I went up to the penthouse, to the rooftop. And besides this absolutely stunning view and the interesting people watching, I also got to go walk to the edge and see the White House and seeing the East Wing from that view, just the ruins of it with the US flag flying right above. It was like a little sliver of Ukraine just in that one spot. It was such a sight to see. I so badly wanted to just sneak out my phone, take off that damn sticker, and take a picture. But I did not. I did not do that. Next sight, I was going on a walk and I happened to see these women in these long red robes who were clearly supposed to be dressed as women in A Handmaid's Tale. But this wasn't for a Halloween occasion. They were standing outside of a restaurant. And when I walked by, I saw a sign that mentioned that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was inside, sitting at a quote unquote Christian nationalist church. So I guess these women know when he's at this restaurant and they just show up with their own posters. And so they're standing there. The security officers are standing there. The big black Suburbans are all lined up. And my friend and I waited around just because we thought it was an interesting moment. And a few minutes later, Hegseth's children walk out. I'm not going to show you video of that, but I did get a little bit of a video that I'll stick in the post of this. And then Hegseth's wife comes out in a long flowing dress. She sort of looks around. There's really nobody around but the Secret Service and my friend and me, and then these Handmaid's Tale women. And she kind of like sticks up her hand in a sort of timid, hi, thank you wave. And then Hegseth comes out wearing a blue vest and khakis and sort of in a rush, looking at his surroundings. He didn't look particularly relaxed, I'll say that. But notable to see him there. And, I'm not a person who would ever accost anybody. I don't think that that is kind. I don't think that that is necessary. I don't see what it accomplishes. I just think that seeing people who are the movers and shakers in this city is part of what makes DC an interesting place to live. And then last, I count this morning as the end of my weekend. I was driving uptown and I saw this poster. It was handwritten, and I actually ended up reversing my car on the road to get a picture of it. It was written in Spanish and English, and it said, "Alert, ice is often in this park." So just these distinctive visions at this moment of the shutdown, of this tension of what's happening next. Anyway, I'm just flagging that I have a pretty busy week. I will share more with you when I can. It's pretty exciting, and I think you guys are going to be really into it. But I will try to get you guys something like on Wednesday. But in any case, I'm going to have to leave it here now and jump on a train to New York in a little bit. But thanks for watching. And if you appreciate these videos, I would so much appreciate it if you could become a paid subscriber, because that's how I can keep doing this work. Have a great morning and a good Monday. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.